Hello and welcome. Hey, so remember Fantasia and that 10-minute Sorcerer's Apprentice cartoon starring Mickey Mouse? With the brooms? Yeah, that one. Let's take that scene, make it as cringy as possible, and expand it into a live-action wannabe Doctor Strange. Because that's what they did.
I command you to stop!
The Sorcerer's Apprentice was released in 2010, and it stars our favorite meme, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is back, and he's not any better in this film.
Once you enter, there's no going back.
We also have Jay Barchel, who stars in this. He's our actual main character. And he reminds me so much of Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live, but I knew that they're completely different actors because of the age range.
I'm not gonna make it. Look at me. I'm not gonna make it. I'm 6'3". I'm 145 pounds. I have a problem with wind.
But then I went and looked up information of what else he was in. But he was also in Man Seeking Woman. That was on FXX a couple of years ago. And now I know where he's from, so he's in this one as well.
All right.
Yeah. So we can be buddies.
Yeah.
Dude, you know she's seeing someone, right?
Who is he?
This guy Adolf.
His name is Adolf? Like Adolf Hitler?
Oh, cool, you know him.
I've seen this one before. This is a long time since I watched it, but it's not completely terrible. Like, the special effects are pretty good, but the entire story is terrible. It's so recycled. They basically take every single stereotype that they can think of. You have the nerdy guy who had a crush on this girl for years, and he's chasing after her, and then he finds out he's an apprentice and all magical and powerful, and then he has to learn his skill but also get the girl, and then has to defeat an evil wizard because he's the only person that can defeat it. And when all is lost and he thought he lost his powers, suddenly he's the most powerful one of them all. And it's something that we've seen so much. As I'm talking about this exactly the same plot reminds me of Fright Night, and we're gonna talk about that later, but it's basically the same exact plot line, except we're wizards instead of vampires. But it really was very similar. We have a knockoff Chris Angel in this film, Magician, because during the time period, Chris Angel was all the rage, and he was a magician. So he made magic look cool. So therefore, we need to put a cool-looking magician in every single stereotypical movie.
Hit me with your best shot, your most powerful spell.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Nothing is happening.
Yeah, it doesn't help me.
Enough, you idiot.
It's in here. It's in Fright Night. It's like if Fright Night and Doctor Strange had a deformed baby that they abandoned and threw on the street. This is this film. It's such a stretch from the original source material, and that's what bugs me the most. That they decided to take this and then turn it into this. And that's the saddest excuse. The build up to the scene is such a sad excuse too, that it's just not natural. It's like, okay, let me clean up. I'm gonna use my sorcerer powers now because I'm powerful, and therefore I'm gonna use magic to make life easier for me because I'm such a nerdy kid down on his luck, but I'm smart, and that's my power. I'm smart and I'm charming. But it did have some nice moments in there. I did like the interesting concepts, the fact that it took place in New York. They used their atmosphere and they used the scenery to their advantage. They used landmarks in interesting ways. We had the Raging Bull come up in part of a spell and chase after them. The way they used the buildings that they could jump in and out to with mirrors. And they used a lot of mirror tricks, which also reminded me of the Mickey cartoon that we looked at before, Through the Mirror. That one was strictly Wonderland related, but it's nice to see that they used a little bit of the concept where you can go through mirror and suddenly you're in the reverse world and you can jump back in and out. It's similar, so I do give them credit for that. And even the soundtracks that they used, that Secrets from One Republic was basically the theme song of this movie. And they played it a couple times and it was the song between our two leads. But their use of the Tesla chords and the lightning was unique, and I did like it. It was a cute scene and I love the song.
I'm sappy.
So it was nice to have that moment, and the magic was good. The magic was nice, but there was two problems with the magic. First problem, stop using pentagrams for evil. Pentagrams are not evil. You're giving magic a bad name. You're giving Wicca a bad name. It took me years to discover Wicca and learn it's not an evil concept, and now it drives me insane that people use pentagrams and all of a sudden it's black magic and it's evil. It's not. It means nature. It's all about nature. It has nothing to do with it. And it's my biggest pet peeve that pentagrams are not evil. They were used in Donald's Duck Math Land.
It was our old friend Pythagoras who discovered that the pentagram was full of mathemagic.
Second, our main powerful battle looks like it's Dragon Ball Z here. Stop ripping off on Dragon Ball Z. I mean, of all things, that's the uncoolest thing you could pick of. It had some good points, it had some bad points. It's a nice, fun action film, and it was pretty enjoyable for what it was, but I feel like it would have been so much better if it didn't come from the source material. If it was a movie on its own and not trying to base itself around The Sorcerer's Apprentice, it would have worked a lot better. But this is basically such a failed Doctor Strange wannabe. Doctor Strange did what this movie could never do, and I feel like Doctor Strange, even though it's a completely different atmosphere and material, they take the concepts of being like a sorcerer and using magic and protecting the world and made it amazing, whereas this one is just like a cheap knockoff wannabe and uses every little trick in the book. But tomorrow we're going to continue and we're going to talk about another classic film, Tron. So stay tuned, and as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.